Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today, I'm bringing you to one of the most iconic landmarks in the United States, Mount Rushmore. Right now, I'm in front of this official sign from the National Park Service and the US Department of the Interior, marking the entrance to the Mount Rushmore National Memorial. From here, we're heading straight to the monument to explore its fascinating history, breathtaking views, and hidden details. So, stick around for an exciting journey. We are now approaching the toll gate, the official entrance to Mount Rushmore National Memorial. From here, we can catch our first glimpse of the monument in the distance, sitting majestically atop the hill. It's an incredible sight, and as we get closer, we'll see the massive scale and intricate details of this iconic landmark. Let's keep moving. All right. We've parked our car and are now making our way toward the entrance of the Mount Rushmore National Memorial. As we walk, take a moment to appreciate the incredible history behind this place. Carved into the granite of the Black Hills, this monument features the faces of 4 legendary US presidents: George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln, each chosen to represent the nation's birth, growth, development, and preservation. We are now stepping into the entrance of the Mount Rushmore National Memorial. This is where the experience truly begins. Right ahead, we'll walk through the Grand View Terrace, which offers one of the best vantage points of the monument. But before that, we'll pass through the iconic Avenue of Flags. As we move forward, take a moment to soak in the atmosphere. The monument itself may be carved into stone, but it tells a living story of American history, leadership, and ambition. Let's keep going and get an even closer look at this incredible landmark. Stepping further into the memorial, we come across the signboards directing us to some of the key attractions here at Mount Rushmore. The gift shop, food services, the Gutzon Borglum Visitor Center, the amphitheater, the Presidential Trail, the Sculptor's Studio. There is a statue of Gutzon Borglum, the visionary sculptor behind Mount Rushmore. This monument stands in honor of the man whose artistic genius and relentless dedication turned a bold idea into reality. Rushmore Workers, 1927-1941, marble plaque. A tribute to the over 400 workers who dedicated themselves to carving this national treasure between 1927 and 1941. Standing here, it's incredible to think about the challenges he and his team faced, working with dynamite, chisels, and sheer determination to carve history into the Black Hills. Now, we're walking through one of the most iconic pathways in Mount Rushmore National Memorial, the Avenue of Flags. This stunning walkway is lined with the flags of all 50 US states, as well as the territories and the District of Columbia, creating a powerful display of unity and national pride. Each flag represents a piece of the country's history and heritage, making this a symbolic entryway to the monument itself. As we walk through, we can already see Mount Rushmore framed perfectly at the end of the avenue, standing proudly atop the Black Hills. It's truly a breathtaking sight. Let's keep moving and get an even closer look at this incredible masterpiece. And here it is, Mount Rushmore in all its glory. Standing before us are the massive 60-foot-tall faces of 4 of America's most influential presidents: George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. Carved into the granite of the Black Hills, this monument is a testament to vision, craftsmanship, and perseverance. Now, we've taken a seat inside the amphitheater, one of the most serene spots in the memorial. From here, we're watching a fascinating documentary that dives deeper into the history of Mount Rushmore. It's an amazing opportunity to learn more about the challenges, triumphs, and the incredible craftsmanship that went into creating this monumental piece of art. The film highlights the vision of Gutzon Borglum, the workers who risked their lives to bring his idea to life, and the significance of the monument itself. It also explores the cultural and historical impact of Mount Rushmore, making this an even more immersive experience. Each president was chosen for a reason. Washington represents the birth of the nation, Jefferson symbolizes expansion with the Louisiana Purchase, Roosevelt stands for development and progress, and Lincoln embodies the preservation of the Union. Looking up at these intricate carvings, it's incredible to think that over 90% of the sculpting was done using dynamite, with workers carefully refining the details afterward. Despite the harsh conditions and dangerous work, the project took 14 years to complete, from 1927 to 1941. Before Mount Rushmore became the iconic landmark we know today, the idea to carve a monument into the Black Hills came from a gentle scholar, Doane Robinson, a South Dakota historian and state tourism official. Back in 1923, Robinson initially envisioned a monument that would carve the faces of Western heroes, figures like Buffalo Bill Cody, Lewis and Clark, and Native American leaders, into the Black Hills. His goal was to create a grand attraction that would boost tourism to the region and celebrate the history of the American West. However, when Gutzon Borglum, the sculptor behind the Mount Rushmore project, became involved, he had a different vision. Borglum believed that the monument should honor US presidents who had shaped the country's history and ideals. After some discussion, Robinson's original idea was adapted, and the focus shifted to 4 key presidents: George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. Gutzon Borglum believed that Mount Rushmore was the perfect place for carving. He saw the granite peaks of the Black Hills as a natural canvas, with the sturdy, high-quality granite offering ideal conditions for a monumental sculpture. Borglum was captivated by the location's massive scale and panoramic views, which would allow the faces of the president to be seen from miles away. He also believed that the site's visibility would allow the monument to become a lasting symbol of American history and ideals. Borglum's confidence in the project's success came from his deep understanding of sculpture and his experience with large-scale public art. The Black Hills, with their dramatic landscape and enduring rock, were the perfect setting for a work that would stand the test of time. The 4 presidents carved into Mount Rushmore, Washington, Jefferson, Roosevelt, and Lincoln, symbolized the core ideals of freedom and the pursuit of happiness. Each leader, in their own way, shaped America's foundation, ensuring that every individual has the right to liberty and happiness. Their legacy lives on in this monument, a reminder of the nation's commitment to these enduring principles. Thomas Jefferson was chosen for Mount Rushmore because of his pivotal role in shaping the early United States. As the author of the Declaration of Independence, Jefferson was a champion of liberty and individual rights. His vision expanded the nation's territory through the Louisiana Purchase, which doubled the size of the US and opened up vast new lands for exploration and settlement. George Washington is regarded as the father of the nation. As the first president of the United States, Washington set the foundation for the fledgling nation. His leadership during the Revolutionary War secured American independence from Britain, and his role in guiding the country through its early years as president established key precedents for the US government. Washington's commitment to liberty, unity, and selfless leadership made him the ideal representative of the nation's birth and values. Washington's leadership was essential not only in winning the Revolutionary War, but also in shaping the new republic. His decision to step down after 2 terms as president set a critical precedent for the peaceful transfer of power, solidifying the democratic principles of the United States. His legacy continues to inspire American values of freedom, integrity, and service to the nation. In his own words, George Washington referred to the sacred fire of liberty, emphasizing the importance of protecting and nurturing freedom for future generations. Washington believed that liberty was the cornerstone of American democracy, and he devoted his life to safeguarding it. His leadership during the Revolutionary War, his guidance in shaping the US Constitution, and his insistence on the peaceful transfer of power helped ensure that the sacred fire of liberty would continue to burn bright in the United States for years to come. Abraham Lincoln, known as the Great Emancipator, guided the United States through its most turbulent time, the Civil War. Lincoln's leadership preserved the Union and brought an end to slavery, redefining the nation's commitment to freedom and equality. In his own words, "Let us have faith that right makes might," reflecting his belief in the righteousness of the Union's cause. His determination to keep the country united during its greatest trial ensured that the ideals of liberty and equality would endure for future generations. At a time when the United States was emerging as a world power, Theodore Roosevelt led the march to new frontiers, forging new links between the East and West with the construction of the Panama Canal. In his own words, "We here in America hold in our hands the hopes of the world," emphasizing the responsibility the nation had in shaping the future. Roosevelt believed that if the US failed to live up to its ideals, shame and disgrace will be ours. And he urged the nation to hold on to the light of high resolve and never falter in its pursuit of progress. Roosevelt's vision of a powerful, united America resonated throughout his presidency and beyond. Mount Rushmore was dedicated on August 10, 1927, with a symbolic ceremony. President Calvin Coolidge, with his usual showmanship, handed sculptor Gutzon Borglum a set of drill bits, marking the official start of the final phase of the monumental project. Borglum immediately put them to work, and the face of the mountain began to take shape, symbolizing the strength, vision, and dedication that Roosevelt and his fellow presidents brought to the nation. Gutzon Borglum's approach to creating the Mount Rushmore sculptures was a masterful blend of art and engineering. To ensure the highest level of accuracy and vitality in the carvings, he studied a wide variety of references, including photographs, portraits, and life masks of the presidents. Using the sculptor's tools of light and shadow, Borglum was able to capture not just the features, but the character and spirit of each leader. The carving process was an immense engineering challenge. Approximately 90% of the work was done using dynamite, a method suggested by an engineer who had worked with Borglum on a previous project. The soft, cracked surface stone of the mountain made the task particularly difficult. To reach solid granite, nearly 500,000 tons of rock had to be removed. Once the rough contours were established with dynamite, finer tools were used to carve the intricate details and bring the faces to life. Borglum's innovative use of dynamite allowed him to efficiently remove large amounts of material, ultimately shaping the iconic figures of Washington, Jefferson, Roosevelt, and Lincoln. To ensure precision in the monumental carvings, Gutzon Borglum employed a highly sophisticated measuring system called pointing. This technique involved using a circular plate, marked off in degrees, which was mounted on the head of a small-scale studio model of the sculpture. One end of a bar was attached to the center of the plate, and a plumb bob was lowered from the bar until it touched the model's surface. Measurements taken from the model were then multiplied by 12 and transferred to the mountain, using similar but much larger devices mounted on the sculpture itself. These devices allowed the workers to mark the mountain at specific points, indicating how much stone should be removed. Holes were drilled at these marks to place dynamite charges, which were used to break away large sections of rock. The pointer was the most crucial worker on the project, second only to Borglum himself, as they were responsible for transferring the precise measurements onto the mountain. In addition to the pointers, the construction crew included powdermen, winchmen, blacksmiths, callboys, and as many drillers as the budget allowed at any given time. During much of the construction, workers were suspended over the side of the mountain in bosun's chairs, which were swing seats and harnesses, equipped with jack cameras and other tools to monitor and carry out the work efficiently. Blasting and drilling were essential to the creation of Mount Rushmore, with dynamite being used to remove large portions of rock. Dynamite charges were carefully placed in holes drilled into the granite by skilled workers. After each explosion, the soft, cracked surface stone was cleared away, exposing the solid granite beneath. This rough removal process involved the use of both large dynamite blasts and precise drilling to create the basic contours of the 4 presidential faces. The work was dangerous, with workers suspended in bosun's chairs, carefully handling the charges and assessing the results after each blast. Once the rough shapes were carved, the smoothing process began. Workers used smaller tools, such as pneumatic drills and chisels, to refine the details and ensure accuracy. Borglum's pointing system, which involved transferring measurements from a model to the mountain, helped maintain precision. The final stages of sculpting required delicate work to smooth the surfaces and carve out finer details such as facial features. The combination of dynamite for large-scale removal and fine sculpting tools for detailing ultimately brought the grand vision of Mount Rushmore to life. On August 30th, 1936, President Franklin D. Roosevelt stood before the towering face of Thomas Jefferson, speaking of Mount Rushmore's lasting significance. With only Washington and Jefferson completed, his words carried a message of resilience and vision. Mount Rushmore was not merely a monument, but a testament to American resilience. Nearly a century later, his words still echo through history, reminding us that the legacy of great leadership is not just remembered, it is carried forward. Roosevelt recognized the sheer scale of the project. What was once just an idea now stood as a monumental achievement, one that he believed would endure for thousands of years. He spoke not only of its artistic grandeur, but of the deeper meaning embedded in the stone. The Jefferson whom we honor today was a man who felt, as we feel, the needs of humanity. He faced the problems of his day, as we face the problems of our day, with intelligence, with determination, and above all, with an unshakable faith in the cause of freedom. As the dedication ceremony continued, President Roosevelt turned his attention to the man behind the masterpiece, Gutzon Borglum. More than just a sculptor, Borglum was a visionary, a man whose relentless determination and artistic genius had brought Mount Rushmore to life. For over a decade, Borglum had devoted himself entirely to this project, battling financial constraints, engineering challenges, and the unforgiving granite of the Black Hills. He saw Mount Rushmore not as a simple sculpture, but as a shrine to democracy, one that would outlive generations. Under Borglum's guidance, over 400 workers risked their lives each day, suspended from ropes, chiseling away at the mountain with precision. He was known to be demanding, often pushing his team to their limits, but he was driven by a singular purpose: perfection. In that moment, Roosevelt's words solidified Borglum's legacy. This was no ordinary artist. This was a man who had sculpted not just faces, but history itself. With these words, President Roosevelt reinforced the significance of Mount Rushmore, not merely as a feat of engineering, but as a testament to the ideals upon which America was built. This was more than just stone. It was history carved into the very heart of the nation. Borglum's vision was clear. This monument was meant to outlast time itself. He believed these faces, staring across the ages, would stand as silent witnesses to the triumphs, struggles, and enduring spirit of America. He knew that nature would one day reclaim the mountain, but until then, these faces would stand as a tribute, a reminder to future generations of the ideals that shaped the nation. Decades later, the wind and rain continue their slow work, but Borglum's creation still stands. His prayer has endured, and so has the story etched in stone. Now we enter the heart of the Mount Rushmore National Memorial, the exhibit hall. These panels highlight the vision of Gutzon Borglum, the significance of each of the presidents carved into the mountain, and the monumental effort it took to bring this dream to life. You can see archival images of workers and tools, giving you a sense of how challenging and ambitious this project was. The studio, which delves into the vision and artistry of Gutzon Borglum. Here you can see how Borglum's creative genius brought the idea of Mount Rushmore to life. The meaning of Mount Rushmore. This section explores the deep symbolism behind the monument. Each of the four faces represents a pivotal aspect of American history. Washington's leadership in independence, Jefferson's vision of an expanding nation, Roosevelt's spirit of progress and conservation, and Lincoln's fight to preserve the Union and end slavery. We see each of the four presidents highlighted individually, with collages that celebrate their legacy and leadership. The panel offers a unique insight into the impact these men had on shaping the United States and how their stories are intricately tied to the monument we see before us. These offer a deeper understanding of why Mount Rushmore honors them. Their leadership, vision, and courage continue to serve as guiding principles for the nation, even long after their time. These panels illustrate the immense challenge of carving four giant faces into the granite, highlighting not just the technical expertise, but also the sheer perseverance of the men who worked on this monumental project. Now we're standing before a truly awe-inspiring exhibit that captures the construction of the four faces on Mount Rushmore. This display highlights the monumental effort that went into sculpting each president's likeness, showcasing both the engineering marvel and the incredible artistry involved in this national treasure. As you can see in this exhibit, each model was meticulously crafted with incredible attention to detail, serving as the template for the massive granite faces that would emerge from the mountain. This panel focuses on the setting, the very granite that makes Mount Rushmore possible. The monument stands on a rich geological foundation formed over millions of years. Understanding the geology of this area not only reveals how the monument was created, but also highlights the natural beauty that surrounds it. Here we see methods and tools used to bring the design of Mount Rushmore to life, highlighting the pointing system, the importance of the models, and the specialized tools that made the monument possible. These technical aspects are critical to understanding how such an intricate and grand project was completed. Here we dive deep into the art and science behind the mountain carving process. The creation of Mount Rushmore was a groundbreaking feat, where the mountain itself became the canvas and tools of ingenuity were the artist's brushes. Dynamite was essential in the early stages to quickly remove large volumes of rock, while pneumatic drills allowed for more precise work as the faces began to take shape. These are some of the tools that helped turn the vision of Gutzon Borglum into reality. The chisels and hammers you see here were essential for the fine detail work, chipping away at the granite and carefully crafting the faces. These hand tools allowed the sculptors to add intricate features, like the wrinkles on the faces and the precise angles of the eyes, noses and mouths. In order to carve the monumental faces of Mount Rushmore, workers faced an additional challenge: accessing the top of the mountain. Due to the sheer height and steepness of the granite, scaffolding, ropes, and ingenious methods were required to safely and effectively reach the areas where they worked. The scaffolds were strategically placed along the faces, providing a stable platform for the workers to stand on while they carved the granite. However, some areas were still difficult to access. To assist with climbing, workers utilized a system of ropes and pulleys. This system allowed them to ascend and descend the rock face more efficiently and with some degree of safety. This grand display brings together the history, the people, and the craftsmanship behind the monumental project of Mount Rushmore. Here, you can explore the journey from its inception to its completion, meeting the visionaries and artists who made it all possible. Luigi Del Bianco, the chief carver, whose craftsmanship was instrumental in bringing the faces of Mount Rushmore to life. Though often overlooked in the early history of the monument, Del Bianco's contributions have come to be recognized as crucial to the project's success. Thank you for joining me on this incredible journey to explore the history, artistry, and legacy of Mount Rushmore. From the visionary Gutzon Borglum to the essential contributions of Luigi Del Bianco, we've uncovered the stories behind one of America's most iconic landmarks. If you enjoyed this exploration of Mount Rushmore and its monumental legacy, please like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay updated on more historical journeys. Be sure to leave a comment sharing your thoughts on the monument and what you'd like to see next.